All right, we are live on DentonRadio.com here at the Discover Denton Welcome Center with the Oracle of Information herself, Miss Jenna Duncan.
Thank you.
We are talking about Denton and Denton business today, specifically some Denton businesses that have gone beyond Denton, that have started here and now they're growing and growing and growing, which is really exciting to see.
Yes.
And I will get out of the way so that you can fill everybody in on the cool stuff happening.
Well, cool. So I wanted to start just a couple of blocks down, not even blocks, a couple of doors down.
Yeah.
Beth Marie's is about to open its first non-Denton location, which obviously we know Beth Marie's has a cult following, like in North Texas. Even my parents in Plano, when they were living here, would go to Whole Foods for, Beth Marie's ice cream, and it's all over. So it's opening in the booming downtown Carrollton district. So it's
That's cool.
actually going to be right next door to Babe's.
Oh, wow.
So prime real estate in that downtown area where there's a lot of growth and development with dining, and some wine bars are in there now, and Monkey King Noodle Company from Dallas just opened up there. So it's really a hot market to be entering right now and bring some of the Denton flavors a little bit south. So
Cool.
it's almost done. They started hiring for the project about a month ago. And I talked to some managers over at the home base store earlier this morning, and they said they're anticipating a soft open starting on Wednesday.
Wow.
So that means it's not going to be fully open. They'll be working out kinks, but the door won't be locked. So if any Dentonites meander their way down past the lake this weekend, you can still get your Beth Marie's fix.
Very cool.
So that's a big deal for them, I think. And, they had such a big boom after the Bluebell fiascos because they took over so many local contracts.
Huge.
That I think that it really helped their brand and established them more in the market a little bit south of its Denton footprint. So that's really exciting for them that they're still going.
That's awesome.
And then I'm going to switch over to Argyle. There's two big things that are happening down there, and it's all offshoots from Sparky Pearson, who we all know. He's responsible for this lovely Welcome Center building, giving us some space. And then, he's one of the co-founders of LSA, co-founder of Barley and Board, and his investment group is working with West Oak Coffee Bar, which has arguably become probably the best coffee spot in town. People come from out of town, I think, to go to West Oak.
And it's so beautiful in there. It's a really cool location.
And it's a damn good cup of coffee. Yeah. It's really good coffee.
Yeah.
And so they are opening their first sister location with the help of Sparky in Argyle next week. So it's doing some soft openings right now. It's called Kimsey's. I was so excited when I first started looking at the building because I had noticed the development. It's right there with Earl's 377 Pizza, right at, Country Club Road and 407. So kind of that hot intersection right now in Argyle. And the building is so kooky looking that I was like, what is this? It looks like Enchanted Forest, Hansel and Gretel style with the big arched doorways like you would see in Lord of the Rings with the big oval windows, and then the slated roofing all mismatched.
Yeah.
So it's really cool, and it's going to be serving the same brands of coffee as West Oak, and it's going to be getting in daily some of the baked goods from West Oak because West Oak has a huge kitchen, so they're going to be making extras to bring down to Kimsey's. So that is still in the soft opening phase, and it will have its full-fledged first day on March 6th, next Monday.
So cool.
Yeah, another cozy space that has all these cool floral designs on the walls inside, and it's a neat spot for a town that doesn't even have a Starbucks.
Yeah, very true.
So it's definitely going to be meeting more of a high-end coffee need that they've had. And then in that same complex, another Sparky creation with Chef Chad Kelly from Barley and Board. They're going to be opening Bumbershoot Barbecue.
Oh.
So they did some test runs for it back in December when they did, I don't know if you remember, they did some catering options for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So you could order a smoked brisket or smoked ham. That was them trying to test out the different smokers and figure out what was going to work for this location. So Chef Chad Kelly has figured out the menu, figured out the technique that he wants to do for brisket, which is going to be on a couple of different kinds of woods. And that's going to be opening at the end of March. So there's not a set opening, but it's going to be kind of that, the classic barbecue setup where they're planning to open at 11 a.m. until sellout, but they're going to be prepared every day to reopen at 5 with a new supply. So some of the things that you might see as problems with some of the more popular barbecue joints that by the time it's dinner and you're picking up dinner for your family, they're sold out by 6 or 7. Right. They're going to be having fresh new meats that are going to be available starting at 5 again.
Oh, cool.
So that might help with some of the demand issues that potentially happen with this type of business. And they're going to try to stay away from the sauce and keep it more Texas. They're making 2 sauces, but not a requirement. And they're going to have the classic briskets and smoked turkey, smoked sausage, things like that to kind of, so that will flesh out that little corner in Argyle to having 2 pretty high-end restaurants and a really neat little coffee shop.
That's great.
So that's cool. Denton kind of expanding its footprint. Some of these successful companies and businesses looking at new markets.
Well, it's always exciting to see when you've got, when you go to other cities, you see things that are wanting to go there, which is great, and that's awesome. And then you come to Denton, and part of Denton's charm is all the stuff you just aren't going to find anywhere else. So now it's so cool to see it coming from the mothership to spreading out in other places, which I think is going to spread the name Denton even farther, thus drawing more people back to the mothership. So it's really cool to see.
I think so, and I think that we first got our taste of that with John Williams when he opened Silo on 7th in Austin.
Yeah.
I went down there for my birthday and met a bunch of my friends from college, and we ended up being, the house that we rented through Airbnb, it was 3 blocks from it, and I was like, okay, well, like, obviously we have to go.
Have to go to Silo.
And so we went, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm from Denton, and the server knew exactly what we were talking about in Austin. And he was like, oh, that's neat. So it's cool to see kind of a little bit of Denton in some different places.
Yeah.
And then one other thing that I just remembered, too. So Kimsey's is the second offshoot of West Oak, but they've also shored up some land in Decatur, and they're going to build a third West Oak sister.
Wow.
Yes. So
cool.
That will be coming this summer in Decatur. So
That's awesome.
They are spreading their success around other parts of the Metroplex.
Well, so exciting to see so many people getting to have a little taste of Denton.
Yes.
Cool. And I love that Denton has now become an adjective. That's pretty Denton. That's a Dentonish kind of thing. So
It definitely has. It's a little flavor of us outside if you happen to be homesick because you're south of the lake or you're up in Decatur. You can have a cup of West Oak coffee and it will all be okay.
Exactly. Love it. Love it. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. If you'd like to get a little more information about the Denton business community and beyond, you can make sure you pick up a Denton Record Chronicle. Of course, you can always go to dentonrc.com, and we'll get you hooked up with both right here at the Welcome Center if you ever want to come by. Speaking of coming by, this show happens every Monday at 2 o'clock. If you want to see us sit down with the oracles of information of the Denton Record Chronicle, you can come by here at 2 o'clock, or you can tune in on Facebook or dentonradio.com, and we'll give it to you live. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Jenna, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you as always.
And we will see you guys next week.